asked me on the truck and on the car about certain modifications that I've done. Does this void your warranty? So, like the exhaust on the truck where the third cap was removed, or the bigger wheels and tires, or just anything that really is a noticeable change. People typically ask, does this void your warranty? On the Mustang, talking about like Lund Racing tune that I have on it. I have no cats on it. So we're going to jump in and I'm going to give you my perspective on the whole does this void your warranty thing. Alright guys, so the number one thing is it's going to depend on your dealership. So are you friends with the people at the dealership? Have you never been there? Have you had a bad experience with them already? It really just does depend, because some dealerships do not care what you have done. They're not going to care. And then other ones will totally flip out for no reason and cancel your warranty and deny working on it and stuff. So, like SRT Mush, I believe that was his name. He had a Hellcat, had a cold air intake, and he took it to the dealership because the supercharger bearings were going out, and that specific dealership got pissed off at him, and they declined warranty and flagged his car and stuff because of a cold air intake, which technically, because it is not stock, they have the right to do, because they're putting up their money. It's not really the dealerships, I guess I should say that as well. It's going to be Chevrolet or Ford or whoever it is that is putting up the upfrontness, putting it up front about how the guy pulled out in front of me. So it's not really the dealerships that are paying for this necessarily. They have their tax or whatever, but correct me if I'm wrong, if there's warranty work, the manufacturer pays them. I might be wrong on that. Correct me if I am, if you actually know, not if you're just guessing. So if the dealerships are cool, they might not care. But like in that guy's case, he didn't take the cold air intake off and put the stock one back on there. They saw that as something aftermarket, so they're going to void it because it's not stock, which a rational person, thinking person can understand. That kind of makes sense. I mean, that's kind of fair. It sucks, but it's kind of fair. That guy ended up getting it all worked out after a long time, but yeah, so like if you have a cold air intake or a certain exhaust, it just mainly depends on the dealership. However, if you got the people that claim, well, the part has to be proven to be the cause of failure. Well, if your engine blows up and you have a aftermarket cold air intake on there, and you go drop it off at the dealership, let's just say it's a Chevrolet. Your Chevrolet technician that has gone to school or training classes or whatever is supposed to check the truck out, or car, whatever. So he looks at it. Oh, there's a aftermarket intake on this. I think that voided the warranty, and I think that was what caused the engine to fail. No matter if it did or didn't, how are you, Mr. Joe Smo, that works in some totally different field than automotive, that has no backing with anything from school or training classes or anything, how are you supposed to tell this technician that does this for a living that he's wrong? You're not going to. That's pretty much how it works. That's his job. He took him to court. That's his job. That's what he's been trained to do, whether he's good at it or not, or didn't even care what was wrong with it, just automatically saw that and didn't want to deal with it. It's really not something that you're going to be able to fight, because you really don't have any say, because that's the professional giving the professional opinion, and you're just the guy with a blown up car that wants to not pay for getting it fixed. So, and the same goes for like if I have anything wrong with this truck and the dealership that I bought it from doesn't happen to watch the channel and know the things I've done to it, that's a whole other thing. But if something goes on with this truck and it needs to go in for warranty work, I'm going to return it to as stock as possible, simply to just try to avoid any confrontation or confusion or anything. So, like the bigger wheels and tires, they're much heavier than stock. This truck, most vehicles are over-designed to where they last a very long time with these stock components. Well, that's great. You go putting bigger, heavier, more extreme things on them, well, the lifespan of that stuff is obviously going to shorten. So let's say you put the big wheels and tires on it, and then, I mean, surely to goodness I'm not going to have transmission issues in this truck anytime soon, since we're at 3,000 miles, but you never know. Let's say at 50,000 miles or something, 100,000, something premature where you shouldn't see transmission failure or something in this truck, because I'm not out doing burnouts and stuff and flogging on it and stuff. So you have these heavy wheels and tires. Well, you take it to the dealership with these wheels and tires on there, and they're going to say, oh, well, that's why your transmission blew up, or that's why your rear end blew up. You've got wheels and tires that are way too heavy and not designed for this truck. This truck's not designed to carry that kind of load and stuff. Even if it is, it's fully capable. I'm driving it around right now, has no issues. You're not going to be able to overtalk the technician that is, like I said, a professional. So the whole you have to prove that point voided it, that's not the case. That's not the case. Don't let people tell you that, because you're not going to be able to overtalk someone that has a job at the dealership to decide these things. On the other hand, certain parts that you do, like let's say I changed my exhaust, that automatically voids my exhaust because it's not stock. So if I had mufflers on here and the mufflers went bad, the ones that I put on there, well, duh, they're my fault. If I have lowering springs on my car, they go bad or something, the struts go bad, that's my fault. I did that. They're putting the stock stuff to the extreme, and they can wear stuff out. Well, yeah, the factory is not going to cover that. It's my fault. Anything that you change is not going to go under warranty for something that they didn't do or put on there or design. The leveling kit on here, if my front end starts falling apart, as bad as it is, they're not going to warranty that stuff. That's just how it works. So warranty is a touchy thing. If you have issues, go back to stock. I'll touch on the tune for a second. If you have a tune, you're done. Okay? If the dealership does not like you, or it just doesn't like fixing things without really checking into it, they can go in there in your ECU, PCM, whatever you want to call it, and they can see if it's been flashed. It'll read at different things like a miss crank or something like that, and they will see where a sign that, guess what, you've tuned the vehicle. If you put a tune that's not stock, duh, that's going to void everything. Like my Mustang's tuned, I've accepted that. If it blows up, well, I don't know what I'll do, but I know that it's my fault, or it's actually my tuner's fault, but it's my fault for doing it. They're not going to cover that unless you just slip in there and they don't feel like checking, or they're cool or whatever. There's certain cases where you can get around it. Like I said, it depends on the dealership. But anything like that is trackable, traceable, if they want to check it, they have every bit of a right to say your warranty is gone, sorry. So hopefully this answers y'all's questions. Leave comments if you have any more. I'll see y'all in the next one.